Welcome to Order in Chaos, episode 11. Today, we're talking about corporate culture and internal branding. Okay, more importantly, it's about internal branding because everyone knows what external branding is. You see the logos, the brand story, and all that. But something that isn't really talked about is internal branding, which is what happens within the company that most people usually won't see. So, this usually is on the responsibility of the founder to set the internal, like how the internal company brands itself in order to retain talent. That's the main objective of internal branding, right?
Yeah. Okay, so corporate culture is just an element of internal branding, right? If for those who are very want to quantify things, want to like make things very transactional, right? You have to see that corporate culture is part of internal branding. You cannot neglect it just because I want to drive sales, I want to focus on increasing profits, right? Because you must understand that in a company that does sales products, it's less relevant because you can replace the factory. Say if you create a factory, right? You can replace the worker anytime, lah, right? You can just retrain the person. There's a shorter lead time to retrain the person to get up to speed. But for service, it's very different, especially in the creative field, because everybody has their distinctive style. I myself, right? I tried hiring one staff since when was it? 2 months back. Right, 2 months back, there was no response. I just got the staff. The staff just joined. The new staff just joined me like 1 week. That was the lead time to even hire. Not even talking about like getting up to speed, like
Finding someone
aligning.
that matches
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing business owners have to keep in mind, right? And your staff will externalize the brand of the company.
What do you mean by that?
Externalize meaning that they themselves, if you treat them well, right, they will treat your business well. I mean, how they talk about your brand, are they passionate when they speak, right? It's not very outward kind of marketing, but it's like the subtle characteristics that they display. So we have a friend, his staff left, like his entire team left. So what happened was that he was very focused on driving the sales of the company, right? He was doing BD, and then for him, the BD was simply opening group chats with the delivery team. Right?
How big was his team again?
Five, six people. It's a small team, but the thing is, he was just thinking that I should be driving the sales, right? Which is not wrong, right? That's your role as a business owner. That's part and parcel of your role, but that's a given. That's not a bonus. Don't think of it as a bonus. It's your company. If you see your company as a child, right, you have the responsibility to do I say like, oh, maybe the older generation, or like I take care of you for the past 20 years, you need to be filial piety bullshit. But no, they didn't. The company in this sense, right, or the child in this sense, didn't choose for you to want to start a company.
Yeah.
So you better take responsibility for it. It's simple as that. And stop whining, right? So back to that friend, right? So what happened was he was doing the BD, he was just passing the context to the fulfillment team, lah, right? We talk about fulfillment team. So what happened was that the fulfillment team with no clear directions, with no system in place, they were overwhelmed, and then they just felt like there wasn't any interactions between the founder and the staff, right? Could be due to other internal politics, could be due to interference from the executive. I mean, not really executive lah, but the person that the general manager, right? But that shouldn't be an excuse for you not to meet your staff.
Yeah.
Right? Just like assuming you don't get clients, then you just blame the weather, meh? You just blame like just do more prospecting activity lah, right? That's not an excuse, ma, right? So I think a lot of people use their circumstances as a reason for them not to do something. I think that's the wrong mindset. So what happened was that the staff feedback that he wasn't good in after sales service, and that's why they themselves also don't provide after sales service. You get where I'm coming from? I mean, they externalize that message that the business owner was giving. That the business owner say, oh, my job is just to get the customer in, right? I don't really care about whether post fulfillment, as long as I deliver, I don't need to check whether the work was done. The staff also internalize that, and that's why they also did that with their clients. Once the client or the work was done, they do not follow up. just assume that it didn't even happen, something like that, and the clients were not very happy, lah, right? And another thing is, a lot of times if you are a good salesman, right, and you promise the world, right, a good salesman always has pros and cons. The cons is that you tend to overpromise, correct? You promise the world, what happens? The client comes back with the expectation and then you didn't fulfill. Do you think that you will constantly, I mean, if you have a strong pipeline or you have a strong network, right, and you don't care about retainer clients, you don't care about like consistency in your cash flow, sure, go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be tired for the next 20, 30 years, finding new clients instead of maintaining the existing ones. Right. So by the friend's example, right, his staff left because they reached the point where they just couldn't see where this is going.
So it started because the founder didn't have his own, he didn't like sit down and think of the own internal brand he wanted to create, or what do you think was the root issue that the founder had?
I think he wasn't clear on the functions of his company, what the roles, and then like the system as well, right? But also like he don't understand that it's necessary to spend money to make money. A lot of times. You get where I'm coming from. You start a business purely for making money. Purely, I'm just saying purely. Of course, everyone start a business to make money, right? But that shouldn't be your only objective. If it's purely for to make money, right?
And make as much as possible.
Yeah. Right? Then you shouldn't be starting a business. Simple as that. You must love what you do. Okay, so for those who are very mathematically inclined, right? I can tell you, you go and write down the number of hours that you're spending on the business versus how much you're getting, right? The value might be more, but per hour rate is actually lesser than compared to working in a corporate job. You get where I'm.
Yeah.
Right? Once you leave your corporate job, you just go home and play Mobile Legend.
Yeah.
You don't really care, right? Even if your boss texts you, you don't reply.
Yeah.
You can just tell them that this is against HR policy. And if they want to like press forward, you can just report them to Ministry of Manpower, right? Like, so like the business owner that I was talking about, right? He has this very outdated mentality that the staff needs to be loyal. So you need to show what you can give first before you can receive. Like give and you shall receive, right? For all those business owners out there, right? You must understand that the world has changed. Now it's like you show me what can I receive first before I can give for new generation.
The power now lies more in the staff rather than the founder.
Because at the end of the day, right, a lot of them, we are in a generation of material abundance. Everyone has parents who have reached a certain comfortability or stability in their lives, especially for Singaporeans, right? For other countries, less developed countries, right, that might not hold true, right? Especially in Thailand, where I've seen some of their parents are still farmers, they're living in
rural,
like wooden house, like self makeshift houses, that they self built one. So now for Singaporeans, business owners, please like you must first question yourself, right? Did you give birth to him or her, or do you take care of him or her for the next? I mean, for the past since the growing up phase, right? If you didn't, then what? Why do you deserve loyalty? Like let's be real, right? Do you deserve loyalty? You must understand that even if you understand that clients is a transactional relationship, why can't you understand that with your staff that is also a transactional relationship to some extent? You must show what can you give us before they even want to build their relationship with you. It will show in your externalized brand. So we talk about communicating with clients, let's say replying emails, the way that they reply will show, right? Responsiveness to clients, right? How they reply them, interact. Let's say if you have live selling, road shows, pop-ups, even more so, it's important. If you have walked around, if you have seen like those, you can identify who is hired on a part-time ad hoc basis and who is the actual staff of the company. Am I right to say? It's not for all of them, but then most of the time you are able to identify. Reason being is because they give off subtle cues, right? Behavioral cues to you to know that okay, they are part of the company, they're passionate, they are very
involved.
Yeah, they want to share more about this to you, right? Purely because they believe in it. And not because I'm
Compared
paid.
to someone who just, I'm just paid by the hour.
Yeah, I'm paid by the hour.
After this timing, I clock out, I go back home,
Yeah.
that's it.
I'm gonna like sneak an extra 5 minutes on my break. Just
Yeah,
cruise through. I'm gonna get paid the same amount. You're able to identify that sense of
commitment.
yeah, sense of commitment, right? Wow, you have very good dictionary vocab. So I think that's one thing. Get your affairs in order as soon as possible, right? And of course, you yourself must be of a character that you are able to align with, lah, right? I mean, if you are of a certain character, maybe you are a bit harsh, and when you're working, you're a bit more strict. You demand a bit more. Make sure you yourself can give more. That's what, because if you demand that of your employees, your staff will demand that of you. If you yourself are not of a certain character, if you yourself do not have the capability, not saying like technical skills, because of course you must hire people who are more specialized than you, they are good in their field, right? But in terms of character, in terms of traits, right? If you yourself do not hold those traits, right, don't expect of your stuff, because then you are just a hypocrite. Simple as that, right? Oh, then back to another founder that we know. What happened is that don't give your employees what we know as 花大饼 and PUA lah, right? So this is a trait that the Chinese companies popularized, which is don't sell the dream. They don't need you to sell the dream. They are just here to get a salary, just to get on their life, right? If you have the capability, right, they will know because they can see it. Let's say in the bonuses, right? Because it has ripple effects. Like what is Sheng did, give gold coin, right?
Yeah.
Practical, right? Memorable. Like there is you are able to give something that is of value and also that has a distinct branding of your company. You don't give like marks and all that kind of thing where it's like pen is like useless things, right? Unless your pen is like Mont Blanc. Okay lah,
then that's different.
Yeah. If it's a $800 Mont Blanc pen, sure. But yeah, right. If it's a freaking what $20
$20
$20 also expensive.
Yeah.
$2
cents.
G2 what is it called?
Not even G, those China ass.
If you're giving something of not of value, then come on, people don't really care for it anymore. Right? Third thing, PR. Their practice was picked up by the news. And then it creates the people wanting to join your firm. People want to come to you.
Because of the culture and the brand.
Because of the culture, simple as that. You attract top talents. And you must understand that in today's time, right, top talents are not attracted by your monetary benefits, because there's a research that I shared with Ken previously is that earning above a certain amount, you don't get any marginally happier. I think it was what, 80, 90, 70, 80 I forgot, per month.
Per month?
I mean per year, sorry.
Per year.
Yeah.
100?
100?
I remember I think 100.
Okay, so let's just use it 100.
Yeah.
I mean, above that, you don't get marginally happier. That's one thing. Second thing is, now if you understand the trend now, right, especially even with tourism, it affects the tourism industry as well. People prioritize their own health, well-being, because a few factors, like the world is getting more unpredictable. Right. Second thing is that people are starting to question the need to hoard assets. Right. You tell me that okay, to buy a house, then why should I buy a house? So that you have a place to stay, so that
buy a bigger house.
Yeah.
Like faster car.
Yeah. Then like I have kids. Why should I have kids? So that you have people to take care of you when you die. Then why not I just keep my money to take care of myself? That's the response. Right? So those are the values now. So I think a lot of business owners need to evolve. Right? So what happened to the guy that we were talking about? Oh, he was drawing so he was selling the
dreams and
selling dreams, hopes and dreams, and it's in our time, maybe we were younger, I guess it works, right? But as people grow up and realize that like no one is that, I mean, even us looking back, we felt we were naive lah, right? I mean, we were ignorant and naive, but then I guess.
And then what happened to those businesses of his?
Yeah, it will just keep collapsing one after another, because you yourself, your character is not even there to even expect your people to dedicate to this extent. Right? You can tell me, oh, I'm the next Jack Ma. like hold on to the shares of this company 10 years later, you'll be the next Alibaba, right? But you yourself don't even have the work ethic to even become Jack Ma, right? If you're going what? Drinking every day and then like coming in at 1, 2 p.m., what's the point? Right? Subtle cues. People see based on your actions, not what you say. Right? So when I'm working, right? Let's say I promise my staff a certain thing that I'll send it to them. I make sure I send it to them even if I have to work until 3 o'clock. 3 a.m. That's why I don't understand how come some people, like some business owners, can go drinking every day. Because I'm working to 2, 3 a.m. every day. I don't understand. Yeah. So yeah, I
Lead by example.
yeah, lead by example. Lor. Yeah. Don't create a brand and expect the brand to radically different or like to be the best version of you. You have to be the best version of you first before the brand as a child, right? Or the company as a child, right? Can reach that point. Right. And if you know that wherever the company is going or you want the company to be is beyond your current capabilities, find someone else to do it. I give you the best example, Love Bonito. Rachel sat down, right? Miss Rachel. She stepped down as and she hired a CEO, if I'm not wrong, recently. Right? They did the rebranding and all that, right? With the LV logo, right? So that makes a hardship. So such example, you must understand yourself to the point that okay, so I've already brought the company this far, and this is the most that I can do it based on my current life stages and my drive, right? And my ambition. So, but if I want to bring the company further, I need someone who is
better suited
have the experience of leading companies,
beyond that level.
Yeah. So ego is the one thing that kills a lot of companies, right? I think the same principle applies to raising a child, right? Which is if you let's say if you commit a mistake, you don't apologize to your employee. You just say that hey, I'm the boss. Why should I apologize to my staff, right? Then they will hide mistakes from you as well.
Yeah.
Like what's the point? No, I don't bother. I'm gonna get scolded by you anyway, right? If you make it a habit to put yourself at the same level, because everyone is equality, lah, right? Equality, right? No matter whether if you are the top dog of the firm, whether you are entry level staff, right? Everyone has the same say. I think that's one thing that I constantly emphasize because there's no opinion that is too low level or too amateur.
Yeah.
Because if not, you will never get new ideas. You always have it's based on own fixated mindset of things.
Biases and all that.
Yeah.
Your own blind spots that you might not even be aware of.
Yeah. Like the guy we know, right? I mean he created a culture. I think one problem was he created a culture where people didn't even bother telling him what fallacies he have.
Yeah, because it was no point. Like even if you was told to him, he would just like
just ignore and then
continue doing his own thing. That kind of thing.
So I and then what happens? You led to the own
teams falling apart after team after company.
Yeah. So I observed the same thing between the two examples I gave. Actually, it was that one observation is the team instead of growing, right, it always reaches a certain level and disperse, right? Like that, the teams are getting replaced. And what kind of message are you giving if this happens to you regularly? What kind of message are you giving to your client? Hey, where is this person, like person ABC, right? They just you have to think of some stupid excuse because you want to maintain the reputation of the firm, right? Or say like, oh, she or he resigned, or you cook up an excuse to the people who are closer, saying that like, he or she was a problematic individual, blah 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 blah, right? Yeah. You have to base on opinions. That's when you know that your reasoning has failed. Yeah. Focus on your internal.
Know yourself well.
Yeah.
Know that you have your own blind spots. Find people who you be willing to listen to.
Yeah, be willing to listen.
Lead by example.
Yeah. And also don't think that the expenses on stuff is waste of money.
It's not an investment.
It's an investment. Yeah. So anything else you want to share about internal? I think it's just a synergy of things, right?
Starting with yourself.
Yeah, starting with yourself. If you are not the change that this is some Tumblr code. But if you're not the change that you want to see, right, then you cannot get the change that you expect lah. You start with you lah, right? So we're doing Tumblr quotes for episode 11.
Yes.
What's the next Tumblr quote?
I think you butchered that quote quite hard.
No, thy enemy, no thyself.
Not thyself. You win 16 battles. Oh, more than
Okay.
That's about it for
That's about
episode
it.
11.
Thank
Remember
you.
to like, share, and subscribe.